This is Table Rock Lake. It's November the 25th. Beautiful morning for a hike. Got Dan and Mark here. We're gonna summit Table Rock. Relive our glory days.
You mean get injured? Fall over?
Yeah. Trip and fall running down the hill.
Pretty slick, man.
This is the beach area. This place is just absolutely slammed in the summertime with people swimming. And they have canoe rentals and paddle boat rentals. And there's a little store there. There's a bathhouse there, showers and stuff up there to change clothes. And there's picnic tables all around. People come up, have picnics and family get-togethers here. There's playgrounds over here, more shelters. All right, here we go. The main trail to Table Rock is here at the ranger station. There's the Foothills Trail goes through here. So there's the Powder Meadow Trail, and then you have the Table Rock Trail. So we're going to do the Table Rock Trail today, which is about, what, 7 miles round trip?
7 miles round trip. And
about 2,000 feet of gain, something like that. I think we're at 1,100 here, and we go up to 3,100. As Mark mentioned earlier, we have been up here so many times training. This is like our go-to place, and we have spent many of hours up here trekking through these woods. It's one of our favorite places.
man, how many hikes have we started up here? How many? Just unbelievable to think about.
Then this section right here is the Mark Mixon watering hole.
This is we used to do our big runs, and we'd come down here to this waterfall and get in it. It's so cold. Oh, nuts. Yeah, but after a good run, you walk right under there and just let it run over you. You wipe all the sweat off. It was so good. I'm not doing that today.
This is Carrot Creek. This is the main trail junction here. So the Foothills Trail goes to the left up the Sassafras Mountain, continues on for 76 miles to Oconee State Park. And you can also, the way to the right will go up to Table Rock, but you can also, if you stay on Panther Gap, it'll circle back over to the Foothills Trail.
Which is what we normally do.
Yeah, that's what that usually makes, about what, a 10-mile loop.
Yeah. darn glad I got a haircut yesterday for my close-up.
This boulder field is massive. Oh, by the way, the Table Rock Trail is red. All right, we made it to the halfway house. This shelter has saved several people from cardiac arrest, I'm sure. There's still a little bit of color out there. Some red, yellow, a few greens from the pine trees. The blue tent. It's a beautiful morning. You see Table Rock Lake. I think that, what is that lake? Ulanuli? Ulanuli? Right over there.
You're talking German or something. I don't know what you're saying.
It's American Indian language.
Cherokee?
Cherokee. Another junction. Panther Ridge or Panther Gap goes around up the pinnacle and back down. But we're going to do Table Rock today.
Right there.
Yeah.
So you can climb the top of that, and that's the high point, right?
Yeah. There's
So
no
normally,
view though.
That's where your view would be, but you can't see a thing from top of pinnacle. Yeah. So you have to come down to Bald Rock.
Yeah, pine tree roots just grow on top of the rock. It's amazing it's still upright. You can go up this side now. It's not as bad. You got sweat in your eyes?
Sweat my eyes.
All right, there's the south face, and I think that's a rocking chair. What's the name of that knob there, Mark? Do you remember?
I don't know. Look at that out there. I don't think I've ever seen all that. Yeah, I think fire roping stuff up. And yeah, the erosion. We're gonna get blown off the mountain up here, man. I'm gonna be. That's why I don't want to get rid of my coat. Yeah.
And the view's just as good.
I don't think I've been on this section since the fire. But man, it was hard hit up here. That fire opened this stuff up? Oh yeah. Man, is it windy. Take care of business. South Carolina National Parks, Table Rock Foothills Trail. Man, it's warm in here.
This is known as the Ridge Trail. It's a pretty tough trail because you're climbing basically the whole way, and then you have this false summit, is what we call it, on Pinnacle. But you end up having to go down and then back up Pinnacle, which some of the trail runs we did, it's really tough. Tough climbing. Yeah, you can see it right here.
And for those of you who are wondering about my heavy breathing, I'm a Christian and I'm just calling on the name of the Lord. Because I guess Yahweh is the only sounds that you can make without closing your lips or moving your tongue. So it really is the breath of God. You ever hear that?
No, never heard it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is that rhododendron place that's always covered.
Yeah, they cut it back.
I think they cut it back, or either the fire destroyed all of this and they had to cut it all back.
So this is an intersection. If we keep going, it'll take us to Pinnacle. But this way, if you had to cut all that off to get back, you can go this way and it will take you back to Pinnacle Mountain Trail. And it's actually below Bald Knob, so it cuts off a lot of climbing. We're getting ready to hit this false summit, and so we'll be climbing for the next half mile probably, like we haven't been climbing already.
After 3 kind of false summits, we're getting close. And once we get here, it'll be downhill the rest of the way, but
And this is steep. So we're coming down off the pinnacle, and we're about to intersect with the Foothills Trail. I guess the Foothills Trail actually starts in Table Rock, but it splits off here, goes to the right, takes you to Sassafras, and takes you back up the pinnacle. But it's about 6 miles to Sassafras at that point. So Bald Knob is at 2849. We're the only people up here. We haven't passed a single person on the trail.
I thought you said, man, we brought a bunch of people up here to hike with us. We've never lost anybody. So if y'all feel like coming up, you know, that's pretty safe. Yeah, the Table Rock Trail itself is the one that's got the traffic on it. But I swear this side has prettier views.
The watershed is pretty cool, but you can see both the lakes here. Lake Pinnacle and Lake Ulanuli.
Ulanuli, something like that.
Ulanuli.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My legs are not happy with it.
Bridge is recent. Probably been here a year or so. So I think that used to be the old Mill Pass Trail. Yeah, it's new. Nice. So we're at another trail junction here. Mill Creek Falls is down that way a little piece. It's not a big falls, and the section that you seen at the bridge where they had the trail closed, I think you could walk around that and come back out over there at that bridge. But they got this open, but I think you just go to the waterfall now and you have to turn around and come back.
I don't know who does this, or the Peregrine or whoever maintains this does a good job with this.
Yeah, they've been noticeable the whole way.
So if you've never hiked, you know a double means turn.
Yep.
And usually, if it's a double on the left-hand side of the trail, you're going to turn left. But in this case, you're actually turning right.
Yeah.
Right. The white is the Foothills Trail, and the yellow is for
Pinnacle Mountain Trail.
Pinnacle Mountain Trail.
Yeah. So usually after a lot of rain, it's a pretty good trickle of water off of that.
dinner party.
I know, right? A minefield of trees. Now the place is still recovering from the fire, which was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. It killed all the underbrush, and we still see trees falling because of the erosion. Big trees. Up ahead you can see Table Rock to the right there. Hiking this section in the winter times is great. You can see a lot more, especially after the fire. That you don't have all the underbrush.
I remember all this stuff.
Wow.
Man, it's almost mud. This thing's way low. There's times the water's running all through this.
Yeah, most time these things are almost underwater.
Yeah.
Well, we made it. That was 8.46 miles.
Who?
Took us 4.5 hours, including the stops.
Not great.
Yeah,
This is way faster than that.
yeah. Well, we stopped a good bit. So.
Yeah.
You can't really talk about the history of Table Rock State Park without talking about the Cherokee Nation's relationship with the land. Sakanaga, I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation, but what that word meant was the Great Blue Hills of God. And as legend has it, after a successful hunt, the Great Spirit would sit at the Table Rock on his stool and have his meal. After 3 different treaties, the last one signed in 1816, the white man was here to stay. By 1845, a 20-room hotel had been built on the Table Rock. It lasted till the Civil War. There was one more attempt at a hotel a few years after that, but it only lasted maybe 10 years. Skip ahead to 1933. It was the Great Depression, and men needed work. The Civilian Conservation Corps was FDR's answer to that. There are 16 South Carolina parks built by the CCC, and Table Rock, with its majestic rock face, was chosen as a site for the new Table Rock State Park. The proposed new park was composed of 2,680 acres, with 1,010 acres donated by the city of Greenville. Pickens County made up the difference, buying private property as needed, and donating the land to the South Carolina Forestry Commission. In the spring of 1935, with all the land in place, plans were drawn up, and by that fall, construction was underway. 2 World War I veteran platoons led the charge in building the state park infrastructure, but by July the following year, 2 more platoons of younger men were added to the workforce, the harsh terrain proving too much for the older veterans. Between these 4 groups of men working, a road system was established. They also cut and installed locally sourced rock work, spillways, and dams, creating the 36-acre Pinnacle Lake and the 67-acre Lake Illinois. Basically, everything you see when you visit the park was established by the CCC. They built the Gaines Lodge, which overlooks the Table Rock and Pinnacle Lake, the initial trail system, the bathhouse, the beach, and 9 of the now 14 cabins. The park opened in 1938, and the CCC continued construction until it was defunded in 1942. Since then, ownership has been transferred from the Forestry Commission to the Department of Parks and Recreation. Like most parks, there have been good and bad changes, but Table Rock has generally added amenities over the years. The park is at over 3,000 acres, and in recent years, they've added a visitor center and a fishing pier on Lake Illinois on the south side of Highway 11. The campsites have been continually expanded to include a general store with almost 100 campsites, all with full hookups, some big enough to accommodate a 40-foot tag-along. There's also a new primitive walk-in camping area on Lake Illinois near the visitor center. This state park offers more than most and is a jewel sitting in the northwest center of my little heart-shaped state. You owe it to yourself to book a stay, take in a hike, do a little fishing, and don't forget to swing by Aunt Sue's during your visit for some good down-home cooking. I've never been to this lodge.
I remember coming up here when I was probably 10 or 12, and they had a restaurant up here.
It's a beautiful thing. Man, that is something, man.
It's beautiful.
You get the lake, beach, Table Rock itself. This is Lake Pinnacle at Table Rock, and this is the dam that the CCC constructed.
The boat ramp is right over there for kayaks, and I don't think you can have motorboats in here.
So that's all the hiking trails.
Interesting.
Man, if you go climb up Table Rock, you got to go to Aunt Sue's and eat. It's just the way of it.
He's ahead of us.
So we went on this hike at to Table Rock. Took Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Super windy.
Yeah.
Super cold.
Yep.
Yeah. We actually split that hike into two because we did one with Dan, and then you and I went back the following weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it? It was a following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And did the other side.
Yeah.
Panther Gap and
Bald Knob.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of our home base.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we spent so much time up there trail running and preparing for different races and just going up in general over the years. You know, I went up and hiked with, Nick and I took our boys up backpacking, and you guys went up there. You took your dad up there.
I did.
Well, on the Caesar's Sassafras side.
Yeah. But I
And-
mean, it's kind of our home. Like we would go up there to train, and we would do 2 or 3 laps
Yeah.
when we were training for those big races. So it's really, and I guess that's why we chose this to be our starting point for the next series that we're going to do. It's because this is kind of where we're at. This is, I would say, and maybe not necessarily because it's so close, but just because of what it offers as far as training and hiking.
Yeah.
This is our number 1 state park.
I mean, you got a 6 mile trail that starts from there.
Yeah.
So you could go as far as you wanted. So, but yeah, it's, I mean, so many memories there, you know, taking the boys up and what really impresses me about the place is you can go up on a cloudy day and get a totally different experience than you do on a sunny day.
Oh yeah.
And, you can also, I talked about taking Ethan up during that time where we had those heavy rains and the Carrot Creek was flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different from what we saw the other day when the conditions were dry.
And it's totally different now than before the fire.
Yeah.
Like pre-fire, it was a different park than it is now.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't need the fire. I mean, we were really sad. I remember being really sad that the fire came through, but it was in need of some burn off anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a natural thing to cleanse the forest, and it was in need of it anyway.
Yeah.
In places.
But, I think Dan had a good time. And I think, my buddy Dan I hike with, another Dan, he takes people up there because he's from Chicago, right? So he comes down. He loves Table Rock. So when people say, "Hey, I'm coming down, can we go hike this weekend or something?" He takes them to Table Rock. So.
Yeah, well, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do 2 miles or you can do 80 miles out of there. We've done from Caesar's Head. We've run from Caesar's Head down
the spur trail.
Yeah, the spur trail down to Sassafras and then back down to Table Rock, and then got picked up.
Yeah, which is marathon distance.
Yeah.
So, in the summer and high bushes and everything that we had to run through. So that was pretty interesting.
We've done a bunch of. You can hook that together in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So, I had an absolute blast doing that, and it's a little harder now than it was back then, and it's still a good hike. It's still challenging for us, and but anyway, we got a lot coming up.
Yeah,
2024. So
I'm happy that this is our kickoff for this new state park venture we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. I've already done a lot of filming in Poinsett. I think you've done a bunch in Caesar's Head. So
That's right.
we've got stuff coming.
Yeah. So be looking for that over the next few months. We're going to try to hit as many state parks as we can. May take us. We're going to try to do all 50.
I think there's 47,
47?
close to
Okay.
50.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we can do it in a whole year.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to take a while to get them done, but we'd like to do all of them.
But yeah.
So all right. Well, had a good time, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.